Hey everyone, can you hear and see me okay? Midwest Night Watchers and Glenn Dannison. Hey guys, it's good to see y'all, brothers. I think you guys are the only two people in the chat right now, but it's all good. They usually file in late. Yeah, I know. You know what I figured it was? Glenn Dannison. I think I kind of realized why people come in late is because most of the people who come into these shows are from like the Midwest and the West Coast. Well, Midwest, Central Time Zone, maybe some like Western Time Zone. Not as many people in the Eastern Time Zone, so I feel like I'm starting a bit earlier than most people are used to. So that's I think that's why people tend to come in a little bit late. So that's why. Glenn, by the way, just out of curiosity, what state are you in? I know Midwest Night Watchers. You're somewhere in like what, Illinois? Somewhere there? Somewhere in the Midwest, I'm assuming. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure Midwest Night Watchers is not from South Florida. Yeah. Yeah, I have a few cousins in Chicago, never been there myself, but based off what I've been hearing in the news about Chicago is not a place I'd like to. Oh, Ohio. Okay. That's sort of in between, I guess. Illinois. Okay. So, so let's see who else is here. Hey, it's Slow Motion. What's up, Slow Motion? I'm from Ireland. It's gone midnight here. Hi, all. Yeah, Irish people are interesting. I met a bunch of Irish people when I was living in Korea. They were fun people. I hung out with them got drunk with them at a bunch of clubs and bars and interesting a lot. Yeah, let's see who else is here. What's up to the very early birds, North Alabama cryptid, Mr. and Mrs. NAC. And Nightmare, my old friend. I used to see Nightmare a lot around in the beginning, then he kind of disappeared. I guess he was on other shows visiting, but then seen him around a bit here and there again. It's good to see you, bro. Assuming that, of course, you are a dude. Oh man, let's see what else. Okay, so how's everyone doing? How you been, Midwest Night Watchers and Glenn and Slow Motion? How you guys been? How y'all's been doing? All right, I guess we can start. All right, so lately, this show has kind of been all over the place. I know lately I've had Jason on a bunch, and we've been talking about like pop culture stuff, right? Just kind of railing against woke bullshit. And did a little K-pop stuff. What else have I been doing? Just talking about bullshit, nothing serious. But I kind of wanted to go back to my roots because I originally started this whole thing, this whole venture of being out in front of the camera, in front of the YouTube interwebs, as a fan and as a participant in the entire paranormal scene, right? I believe Midwest Night Watchers, you were kind of the same way. Your initial interest and your initial forays into this whole scene was due to your passion and your interest in the paranormal and into the cryptid and to topics of the supernatural and of the 14 nature. Um, Slow motion. I've only seen you around a few times here and there. Your name is definitely familiar to me, though. And Glenn Dannison, I know I saw you around since like the Cisco show. I would see you in those chats and see you. Um, yeah, I know wrestling, K-pop, and more wrestling. It's just, this is things I like to do. And I felt like lately I've been kind of drifting away from my roots. My roots or my initial reason for being here in the first place was because of paranormal, cryptid, supernatural stuff. Well, primarily paranormal stuff. The cryptid stuff came a little bit later, but my initial interest was in ghosts, psychic phenomena, um, that kind of stuff. That was why I originally got interested in this. And then I met some ghost people and other paranormal friends. And then I got kind of sucked into the whole Bigfoot dogman world. I was never initially, I mean, I mentioned this multiple times, but I was never initially like really into cryptids. It was just kind of a gradual thing where I kind of fell in. Hey, little Patty. What's up? Slow motion. I see you in Cisco's, and I think on Gemma Jade's and Donny says stuff. I'm on both. Oh, nice. You a mod. Ooh, good stuff. Yeah, I know those two ladies. They like to do their paranormal topics, and I've realized, hey, a lot of these people come into my shows who I know through the paranormal scene, and I'm not doing paranormal stuff. So I kind of figured, I think, hey, it's Steven motherfucking Lewis, the Lewis of the Steven. Anyway, so I figured today I would keep it paranormal and kind of go back to my roots and talk about the things that interest all of us, you, me, mutually. I kind of feel bad about shoving K-pop down y'all's throats because I know you guys aren't originally into K-pop. Like I know Garyl's probably not into K-pop, and yeah, sometimes I'm like, man, I'm shoving K-pop in people's faces. Why don't I just give people what they want and do the paranormal, right? So today we're going to talk about the paranormal. We're going to talk about all different topics of the paranormal, and we're going to really put our brains into trying to figure out this whole puzzle of our universe that is the paranormal. And that was the original reason why I got into the paranormal in the first place, was because if the paranormal is real, then what does that say about our actual reality, right? It's kind of like a way of deconstructing our reality. It's kind of like in the Matrix, when they mention how I think when Morpheus was explaining the Matrix to Neo in the beginning, right? And he was like, "Hey, all those stories about ghosts and angels? What do you think those are? Those are glitches in the Matrix." So once I heard that line, I was like, oh, so by understanding the paranormal, we thereby understand or hope to understand the hidden secrets of our universe. And that was why I got interested in it because I was thinking if we can figure out what ghosts really are and what the deal is with psychic phenomena, then maybe we can actually unlock how this universe actually works. Hey, it's Paradox Fossils. What's up, Paradox Fossils, Alan? What's good, dude? I see you around here and there. Yeah, you're another one. Paradox is another one of those people who I used to see around a bunch in the beginning, and then I haven't seen him in a while, and then I kind of see him again all of a sudden. I remember a lot of you guys from what was it? 13 past midnight. Steve Stockton's he had that live show where it was just, man, that was a lot of fun. You guys remember that show 13 past midnight? Steve and Sandy would be on there. It would come on like after Cisco's sometimes, and we would, watch Cisco's and then hop over to Steve's show. And then it was just like a live free for all, and half the time we just sit around and bullshit about like McDonald's and shit. Man, I miss those days. Those were some fun times. Slow motion, paradox, you guys were there, right? You remember what I'm talking about, right? And yeah, we got some really good paranormal talk in there. And I remember my first initial times ever, like even showing up, was because I was there to tell ghost stories and paranormal stories and give our thoughts on the paranormal. And now that I have my own show and I'm realizing, man, I barely do any shit on the paranormal. It's about time I do the paranormal justice. Right, guys? Yeah, you missed that show. I missed that show too. Hey, that's the show where I first met Rob, actually. Yeah, Big from Michigan Rob was like, before he even had his own show, he was just another one of those dudes in the chat. Hey, it's John P. Adventures. What's up, John P. Adventures? Oh, John P. Adventures clicked because of the Cena. Well, John P., you will not be disappointed tonight. But more importantly, not just about the John Cena, we are going to talk about the paranormal and how it relates. Okay, so now that we got some people here, I want to start tonight by talking about probably one of the most famous haunting stories. There are a number of very famous haunting stories, right? We've got the Sally House, we got the Amityville. What are some other famous haunting stories that you guys are into? The Sally House was a major one, yeah. And then what I wanted to talk about today was about this little particular moment in paranormal history that I think you guys are all familiar with. And I think you guys are familiar with this place. This is the Enfield Haunting House. So you guys are familiar with the Enfield Haunting, right? You guys have heard the story. John P. Garrel knows. Paradox knows, right? You guys know about the Enfield haunting. It's one of the most famous haunting cases in the field of the paranormal, right? It's the one of the most studied. Ed and Lorraine Warren fucking went there, right? They actually did a movie on it. I think it was what? The Conjuring 2? Have you guys seen it? Conjuring 2? I've never, because I don't watch scary movies because they're too scary. But yeah, so for those of you who don't know, it's right up there with the Sally House and the Amityville Horror, the Berkeley Square Terror, um, Waverly Hills, East State Penitentiary, like all these places, right? These very famous ghost spots. One of the most famous ones was the Enfield haunting. Yeah, I know slow motion. The Warrens, they were a bit controversial, and that's a whole topic in and of itself. Man, that's a series, actually. But there it is, 284 Green Street in Enfield. Enfield is a neighborhood in London, in the city of London. And this is where our story takes place in the Enfield haunting case. And back in between the periods of August of 1977 to about 1979, there was a mother who lived in a single mother who lived in that house, very working class family, and she was raising her four kids alone. That's her. That's the family picture. One of the kids is not in there. I think that kid was too young. But the main focal points of this story are the two daughters here, Margaret, who was age 13, and Janet, who was age 11. And in the period between 1977 and 1979, these two girls experienced a series of paranormal encounters, attacks, and experiences that were gaining a lot of attention, not just because of the severity and I guess, the shock value of the case itself, right? Because it was straight on poltergeist activity. It was, um, my dog's acting like an asshole again. But yeah, there was furniture moving around. The girls were getting scratched. They were getting thrown around. The girls themselves were getting thrown around, and it got to the point where neighbors even started noticing furniture moving. Like they would peer in through the window and they would see shit. Right? Invisible Man. Yeah. Again, the Enfield haunting was characterized by a lot of straight up poltergeist activity. And we all have our various thoughts and theories on a what a poltergeist is or what it consists of. But yeah, the Enfield haunting started gaining notoriety because of just people who were getting involved, right? Neighbors were starting to notice. People around the family, friends, and family members were starting to see that there was some serious paranormal activity going on. And what is slow motion saying? Funny how poltergeists seem to show up when young teenagers are in the house. Exactly, right? And these two girls in the family, Margaret and Janet, were the ones who were the main targets. These two, well, one's a preteen girl, right? And the other one was 13. And they were the targets of this spiritual poltergeist attack. Um, yeah, it was crazy stuff. And it got to the point where it started making headlines in the news, right? It started showing up in the Daily Mirror. It became national headlines, and people were debating it. Is this a hoax? Is this a real thing? And you had debunkers come, you had paranormal investigators come, and for years, right? Years, there was a debates on, hey, Joanne Hartnett, I haven't seen you in a bit, lady. What's up? Right? And for years, people were debating about the haunting that this family was experiencing in this home, the Enfield haunting home. And again, this became the topic of so much speculation and debate, and so many legends and shows and documentaries, and to the point where you eventually see Hollywood make a movie of it, right? Ed and Lorraine Warren go to the Enfield haunting house and they witness um, poltergeist activity, and it becomes known as The Conjuring 2. And yet, slow motion has a very good point. There are theories that the onset of puberty has something to do with it. Yes, and I do. After years of listening to and studying a lot of these paranormal stories, you can't deny that there's some kind of connection with like youth, children, and the ability to see and perceive ghosts and supernatural phenomena, right? We all know those stories of like little kids being able to see ghosts, whereas adults can't. And we have all heard the theories, right? I'm a firm believer in the idea that the reason why kids can see ghosts and most adults can't, is the fact that the kids are too young to have experienced having their third eyes calcified by this mundane modern reality that we call civilization, right? They haven't lived in this mundane reality long enough to have that third eye calcified. So they are able to see and perceive and witness these supernatural beings that people like regular adult humans like us have no idea of or have no concept of perceiving, you know? Oh, hey, it's Puck Elf. What's up, dude? Right? Some adults are able to perceive it. Do we call those the psychically gifted ones, or the people who do have their third eye still open, who haven't been calcified by the bullshit of modern reality? Oh, hey, it's Bernard Fox. Man, I love your name, Bernard Fox. Anyway, so the reason why I want to bring up the Enfield haunting tonight is because in that case, it produced one of the most iconic photographs that people have pointed to as evidence of an actual supernatural attack by a poltergeist on a young girl. And I'm sure you guys are all familiar with this particular photo, right? This is a photo of young Janet in her room being levitated, screaming in terror. And this is one of those photos that a lot of paranormal believers will say this is the smoking gun, right? Because one of the points that they make is that her visage, the image of her is it's crystal clear, right? But this is back in late 70s, 1977. The camera technology wasn't advanced enough. The shutter speed was not sophisticated enough to capture her in midair with all that level of detail, right? Because in the cameras back then, if she was like up in the air or jumping, she would look all blurred. And the only way for her to look that detailed is if she was hovering in the air. And look at that look of fear on that girl's face. Are you guys familiar with this photo? This iconic photo of the paranormal, right? And what is this? This is to purportedly actual photographic evidence of poltergeist activity because that girl is being levitated in the air by some unseen invisible force, right? Look at her. Look at how she's screaming and she's so frightened and she's just levitating and you can see every detail, every line, feature, and contour in that girl's face and her clothes and her body. Like that looks like she's straight up levitating in the air. What do you guys think? Do you think this is and yeah, there have been accusations of, people were saying that these girls were pranksters and they were hucksters and they've been known to like make shit up. But other people are saying, no, this is evidence of an actual poltergeist attack. Slow motion says, I've always had my doubts about that photo. Joanne Hartnett's like, yes, I have seen this. Right? You guys are all familiar with this? Is there anyone here who's seeing this photo for the very first time? No? Yes? No? Okay. So yeah, that's what I kind of wanted to introduce the topic of with this iconic photo of that girl being levitated, because again, for a lot of people, to them, it's the smoking gun of paranormal activity, of poltergeist activity, and that's what I kind of want to talk about tonight. Is what is a poltergeist? What is the nature of the poltergeist, and what does it mean for does its reality or its existence imply about our reality and our current universe? Oh, Stephen Lewis is saying, I'm seeing it for the first time. Yeah. What does Glenn say? I'm suspicious of every photo and video of the paranormal and cryptids. Yeah, you gotta be, because, well, especially nowadays, because nowadays anything can be faked, anything can be photoshopped, right? And then even if it's not faked or photoshopped, there's always practical effects, even, right? But for something like this photo was taken back in like what, 1977, the 78. It's hard to Photoshop shit when you're in 1978, and this photo has been around for the longest time. This is the photo that everyone points out is actual bona fide evidence of a poltergeist assaulting a girl and levitating her. Now, tonight, folks, I want to bring to attention one of the probably one of the most important and the most significant poltergeist haunting, I guess, stories that has kind of taken place in our modern world, in our reality that I feel like not enough people in the paranormal community give attention to. And it's kind of hard for me to place why, because there has been other evidence of paranormal poltergeist attacks attacking people, and a lot of it has been witnessed by lots of people. Did she die single? Oh, I don't know. Hold on, what is slow motion saying? I think that case was a combination of the real thing and embellishment for more attention than maybe it deserved. Even though enter the Warrens. Yep, the Warrens. Everyone's got their thoughts about Ed and Lorraine Warren. What is Puck Elf saying? Don't give teen girls attention. Lesson learned. Aha. Little Pally, you've never seen it? Really? It's one of the most iconic paranormal photos. And I'm going to show a few others, right? Photos of actual ghost activity. And what's Joanne Hartnett saying? If I remember correctly, it was taken with a film camera roll shot. I mean, everything was film camera back then. It was 1977. Digital camera technology wouldn't come about until like what? Early 90s? Cho, every guy was creeped out by her invisible friend. Well, I don't know if that was her friend based off how scared she looked in that photo, right? I don't know, guys. What do you guys think? Do you think this is the real deal? Do you think this is real evidence of a poltergeist levitating a girl, attacking a girl in one of the most iconic, famous haunting stories in our modern history, the Enfield haunting? What do you guys think? Okay. So, this brings us to our topic at hand. There exists an even greater haunting, an even greater paranormal phenomenon that has gone for too long unnoticed and untalked about amongst the ghost hunter, the paranormal, even the cryptid field that I feel like deserves attention. Now, you remember I did the story on, uh, and I'm still the president of the North American Elvis Project, right? The newest branch of the cryptid field of study. But there's another branch of the paranormal field of study that I think deserves attention as well. And that is going to be, what is it? What is Bernard saying? The ectoplasm is some white stuff. Is that poltergeist activity? Oh, it could be something else, Bernard. You never know. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about the ultimate poltergeist that I feel like deserves attention from the paranormal community, like I said before. And that is going to be the phenomena of the entity known as the John Cena. Now, what is the John Cena? All right, for those of you in this chat and who are watching at home, who are with it, who know me through the paranormal scene and community, you might not be familiar with a little something called the WWE universe. Okay. Now, let me explain. So WWE has got this thing where they got this weird thing where they like to fuck around with terms and vocabulary, right? Like one of the things that you're not allowed to say on WWE TV is fans. They find the word wrestling fans to be very derogatory. So whenever on WWE TV they do refer to their fans, they refer to it as the WWE universe. Now, I consider myself a member of the WWE universe, and that is why I call myself a bi-universal individual. Had to burp. Anyway, I swallow a lot of air when I have to speak for prolonged periods of time like this, like this. I'm monologuing, so I get real burpy. And I just ate right before I came here. Bernard Fox, are are you an admirer of poltergeist activity, sir? There's that's not healthy, sir. That is poltergeist activity. You shouldn't give them energy like that, sir. Okay? So yes, I am considered what you would call a bi-universal, which means that I live in two universes. So you paranormal people who are not part of the WWE universe, you're what I call mono-universal people. You live in one universe, this universe, which I like to call the regular ass universe, right? The vanilla universe. All of the stories and encounters you hear about ghosts and cryptids and UFOs and Bigfoot and Dogman and Fae, right? That still takes place within the same universe as Walmart and Dollar General and Planet Fitness and your mom's house. It's all part of the same universe, the universe that I call the regular ass universe. Now, I too live in the regular ass universe, but I also live in another universe called the WWE universe. And the WWE universe, for those of you who are not familiar, is a hotbed of paranormal, cryptid, and supernatural activity. And the ultimate of which is the entity known as the John Cena. So, before I go deeply into what the John Cena is and what the John Cena entails, let me illustrate for you some of the paranormal, cryptid, and supernatural phenomena that you mono universal people have been missing out on, because you might speculate, go in these chats and listen to these people give their encounters and experiences of these with these different phenomena. As a member of the WWE universe, I've experienced it all. I've witnessed it all. You guys doubt me? For example, in the WWE universe, we have there is all sorts of phenomena, such as voodoo, right? Voodoo has taken place within the WWE universe. Papa Shango, he was an actual voodoo priest. That motherfucker actually performed an actual curse on the Ultimate Warrior. I remember that shit. The Ultimate Warrior was giving a promo in the middle of the ring, and this black ooze started dripping from his head, and the Warrior was confused. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Voodoo. What else does the WWE universe have in terms of paranormal, cryptid, supernatural phenomenon? That's right, vampires. We got vampires in the WWE, folks. Vampires have happened. There have been a number of shows lately asking people, have you seen a vampire? Have you witnessed a vampire? Fuck yeah, I witnessed motherfucking vampires. Bam, WWE, baby, the brood. I seen it firsthand. I seen it with my own Asian eyes, baby. Vampires. You guys, some people like to speculate, oh, I wonder what a vampire's like. Turn on WWE. You'll see them right there in the flesh. Edge, Gangrel, Christian, right? The WWE even has haunted dolls. Sister Abigail, legitimate haunted doll, which was paraded in front of thousands of people, millions of people watching at home. An actual haunted doll that was witnessed by all. You guys doubt that the WWE universe is a hotbed of paranormal activity. The WWE universe even has ghosts. The Hat Man. Now, I am fully convinced that this entity known as the Hat Man, that people have been seeing in their bedrooms late at night, standing at the foot of their bed. What is it really? What is its nature? Who is its identity? I believe it is none other than the Undertaker. Why do I believe this? Think about it. When did the Hat Man phenomena start to get reported widely? Early 90s. And when did the Undertaker make his debut in the WWE universe? Early 90s. Could the Hat Man be a psychic manifestation of the Undertaker's influence on the human zeitgeist? Could it be the Undertaker's psychic influence seeping over into the regular ass universe. And that is why all these paranormal people are having these experiences of the Hat Man, when in actuality, it is none other than the Undertaker. Could it be the same guy? So full of mystery, so full of wonder, the WWE universe, that some of you paranormal people, you just sit there and speculate, oh, I wonder what a vampire or a ghost looks like. Motherfucker, I seen a ghost firsthand. Bam. I see the Hat Man all the time. His name is the Undertaker. I want you guys to sit there and really ponder it. Think about it. When did the Hat Man phenomena start getting reported? Was it around since the 60s and 70s? No. People started reporting that shit in the 90s when the Undertaker made his debut. Could the Undertaker have been psychically manipulating people in their sleeps and in their bedrooms? What could this mean? There's all sorts of phenomena taking place in this universe that you non WWE universe, you mono universal people have been missing out on. Oh, in the WWE universe, we got it all. We got Fey activity. Bam. Fey. We've got Bigfoot. That's right. Indeed. The WWE universe did indeed capture a Bigfoot, shave it down, marched it out to the ring. Yeah, they gave it the name Giant Gonzalez, which I don't know. I mean, I wonder why they had to make Bigfoot Mexican. Honestly, between you and me, guys, I found it a little bit racist. That's neither here nor there. But they have a shaved Bigfoot, and yes, folks, that is his dick hanging out. Yeah, I know. Some of you guys will be like, Donny Cho, how can you show a picture of a shaved Bigfoot with his dick hanging out? And you know what? Okay, fair enough. But in my defense, this this picture of Bigfoot's dick, it's blurred, it's pixelated, right? Like in those Japanese porns where they pixelate all the genitals. That's censorship, baby. This is a family show, motherfucker. Yes. So we got Bigfoot phenomena, right? We've got voodoo, we've got vampire phenomena, we've got haunted dolls, the actual Hat Man, we've got Fey activity, and we've got an actual shaved Bigfoot. There's so many of these podcasts with all of these experiencers, these lame ass experiencers be like, oh, I was walking in the woods and I saw a Bigfoot. So the fuck what? Did it have, oh, you just saw a regular ass Bigfoot with his regular ass hair? Well, guess what, motherfucker? I saw a shaved Bigfoot live in the ring as part of the WWE universe. But you're not part of that universe, so you missed out. Now you're all freaking out over some regular ass hairy Bigfoot. Shit's lame. Oh, wow. Non-shaved Bigfoot. Who the fuck cares? Yo, we got a shaved Bigfoot in here, motherfucker. Damn. With his dick hanging out. And yes, it's pixelated because, this is a fucking family show. I can't show all the veins and shit and all the details, but there it is, a shaved Bigfoot. Behold. Fuck yeah. Yo, we even got Dogman activity. That's right. WWE Universe got Dogman activity up in that bitch. So we got it all. And some of you guys might be wondering, well, I bet you don't have extraterrestrials or ET phenomena. All the UFO nerds are probably like, well, you don't got that shit, right? Wrong. We got extraterrestrials in the WWE. Stardust, baby. Stardust. Yo, that motherfucker from Alpha fucking Centauri, baby. That's an actual extraterrestrial. Bob Lazar's like, oh, what the fuck? Yeah, Bob Lazar, you can't handle that shit. Look at you, fucking lame ass nerd. Ooh, I saw a spaceship in the fucking base. Who the fuck cares? I saw Stardust wrestle in the ring, an actual Alpha Centaurian. We got extraterrestrials, baby. We got Dogman up in this bitch. We got Bigfoots. We got Fae. Now we got extraterrestrials. Hey guys, by the way, you ever notice how Bob Lazar kind of looks like that dude from Willow, Warwick Davis? You know who I'm talking about? Like his face, if you look at his face, he kind of looks like Willow. No one ever noticed that? No? I mean, if you okay, you know what? Let me demonstrate. You guys don't think so? Anyone? He kind of looks like Willow. No? You don't think? Look at him. Okay, look at his face, right? And think of Warwick Davis from Willow. Dude, if you took Warwick Davis and you like stretched him out to like regular size, bam, you get Bob Lazar. He looks like a regular sized Warwick Davis. Look how similar they look. Like if you stretched Willow out, right? You just made him like a human, like regular height. Bam, there you go. Fucking Bob Lazar. Yeah, get the fuck out of here, Bob Lazar, with your lame ass. Oh, I saw anti-gravity ships. Who the fuck cares? Saw Stardust, baby. Stardust. Why don't you go throw some fucking magical acorns at some trolls, fucking loser. Anyway, so yeah, we got extraterrestrials in the WWE universe. We got it all in terms of paranormal, cryptid, supernatural phenomenon. Hell, we even got demonic shit. The boogeyman. Yes. So, like I said, as a hotbed for paranormal, cryptid, Fortean phenomena. Oh yeah, they got plenty of those too. It's the girl in her gong. Okay. But tonight, my topic is the most paranormalist motherfucker of them all, the entity known as the John Cena. Now, what is the John Cena? The John Cena made its debut. I remember it very well when the ring curtain kind of fell back and they announced the arrival of the John Cena. You could hear the music. It could rap and it could like talk it. You could hear its voice, like it could talk, but no one could see it. And that was its catchphrase, and that's what the WWE universe would tell us. It would say, "You can't see the John Cena. The Cena is the unseeable one, cannot be seen." People will be chanting in the crowds, "You can't see me." All the merch that all the John Cena fans would be wearing would say, "You can't see me." So at the end of the day, what is the John Cena? The John Cena is perhaps one of the most powerful and influential poltergeists that have ever existed. Now, here's an example of what I mean. The most paranormalist entity in all of the WWE universe, the one that we cannot see, the unseeable one. Now, look at this picture, folks. What do you see? You know what I see? I see a 500-pound plus Big Show, aka Paul White, floating in the air. Now, how's he doing that, guys? How? I ask you. And again, just like with the Enfield haunting, where it's that girl hovering in the air, you see all the details. It clearly shows that she's just hovering in the air. I don't see any wires or special effects. Could this actually be a sign of true poltergeist activity? And much in the same vein, what about this? I mean, think about it. That is a 500 plus pound man, the Big Show, just hovering in the air like that. And people have said, and this was witnessed, by the way, this is not photoshopped. This is not some bullshit that they release on the internet. This very moment was witnessed by thousands of people in attendance and millions of people across the world. Mysteriously, this 500 plus pound man was just being hoisted and lifted in the air in some kind of odd supernatural psychical attack. Now, some people have claimed to have seen the entity known as the John Cena. I mean, I've never seen it. I don't know what it looks like. All I see when I look at this picture is just some huge ass man, Big Show, just kind of floating in the air, looking very uncomfortable, as if like his body's all scrunched up, as if something's like carrying him. Now, some people like now they say, like we mentioned earlier, right? Like children and people with psychical gifts and animals have been able to perceive or visually perceive the John Cena. I've only heard the John Cena's voice, and I've heard it rap before, but I've never seen it actually. Just I still don't even know what it fucking looks like. All I see is just people being thrown around. I saw this one instance where The Rock was supposedly facing off against the John Cena, and he was talking into the mic, and the mic was just floating in the air. It's just floating. And you could hear the John Cena's voice speaking to The Rock, but there was nothing there. I mean, it's serious paranormal psychical activity here, and we need to investigate. Like, why is such a big man like this just kind of floating in the air in his match against the John Cena? Now, in the beginning, I thought this was some kind of special effects. I thought because the WWE is this billion-dollar company that they had the budget and they had the money and they had the time to maybe do some kind of wire or rigging or some tricks. But again, this is in front of a live crowd. Why is he just floating in the air like that? What kind of strange supernatural phenomena is this? Now, let me tell you about my friend. So before I got into this whole YouTube scene, when I first got into the paranormal stuff, before I got into the YouTube stuff, my when I first became interested in the paranormal, I knew this girl. She was a friend of mine. I can't give her real name, so I'll call her Frida. So Frida was the first ever psychic medium that I ever met. She was a friend of mine, and we would hang out. And this was the first time when I first got into the topic of ghosts and psychic phenomena. And here I had just befriended a girl who was an actual psychic, an actual medium, and she would tell me all of these stories, and we would sit there and exchange ideas and theories. She was the one who actually introduced me to Art Bell. And she was one of the first ever psychic mediums I had ever met. Hold on, I just knocked out my earbuds because I'm an asshole. Okay, so one day, I showed her because I was so perplexed for years. I would see these people just get flung around by this invisible man, that this unseeable one, right? We can't see him. I can't see him. I couldn't see him. I still can't see him. And one day I just showed her, like a match and a couple photos of the John Cena. And I asked her because she does have the gift. And I asked Frida, like, what do you see here? This is true poltergeist activity. And she started looking, and she opened up her third eye and she lined all her chakras and everything. And she said, I see a man. And I'm like, what? She's like, yes, I see a muscular man holding up that giant ass 500 plus pound dude. She's like, it looks like some kind of fireman's carry. And I was like, what else do you see, Frida? Tell me. And she was able to perceive, she was able to see into the inner truth of this unexplainable psychic supernatural phenomena. And she was able to perceive it. Now, the Brock Lesnar was also victim of poltergeist activity. Look at this photo here of Brock Lesnar just floating in the air. The great Brock Lesnar himself was once a victim of a poltergeist attack, very much like this girl right here. It's one and the same. Can you guys see it? It's the same phenomena. There you see Brock Lesnar floating in the air, just like this girl is experiencing this supernatural attack. It's amazing. And in this instance, it's just a little girl. She's got away with nothing. But for Brock Lesnar to just be floating helplessly in the air like this, like a child, what kind of unholy force can do this? Damn. And look at the expression on Brock Lesnar's face. It is the expression of abject terror. The same expression that this little girl has when she is experiencing the same poltergeist activity. See, that's the thing about Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar does not get scared like this. This man hunts people. This man wrestles. This man, he's an MMA fighter. This guy fears no man. This guy got into the ring with Alistair fucking Overeem. He wasn't scared like this. But in this photo, you see a look of abject terror in Brock Lesnar's face. Why? Because he's not against a man. He is up against a paranormal entity. Because any great man, no matter how big or how strong, you put him in the wrong ass haunted house, and they're going to be weeping like a child. They're going to be scared shitless. It's the same look of fear that the little girl has on her face. And why is Brock Lesnar looking that way? Because he is being victimized by a paranormal assault, folks. One of the truly most profound, most mind-boggling poltergeist activities, and it's witnessed by so many people, and not like lifting up these little girls, it's lifting up these giant ass men. The unseeable one known as the John Cena. Now, again, for the longest time, I thought that this was all special effects, and I thought maybe, maybe it's all bullshit. Maybe it's like wires or some shit or some kind of rig. But then going back to the Big Show, right? This 500 plus pound man, right? At first, you see him floating in the air like this, and I'm thinking, okay, well, they had to have some kind of wires or something, right? But then what about this photo? Now, in this photo, you see two men floating in the air, right? You see the Big Show and you see Edge. Now, Edge is on top of the Big Show. So that rules out any kind of wire rigging for the Big Show because Edge gets in the way. And you can rule out any kind of wires on Edge because then he would have to hold up Big Show. He's not strong enough for that. These two grown men. That's like what? That's almost 800 pounds right there, just floating in the air. What kind of unseen, unholy power is this poltergeist known as the John Cena? I have no clue. I have no idea. Right? Look, there's no wires. Now, I've shown this to debunkers and skeptics, like my boy Randy, you guys know him. He's a big skeptic and a debunker and stuff. He'll look analytically, and I'm like, look at this photo of these two men just floating in the air. A lot of people say it's poltergeist activity right here, right? It's the unseeable one, right? We can't see him. The John Cena is supposedly, right, purportedly lifting these two men in the air, but all I see is two men floating. And I showed Randy, he was like, I don't kn I don't know. Maybe it can't be wires. Look, Edge is right on top of Big Show. What is holding these two men up in the air? And why are no people in the paranormal community taking this phenomena seriously? Where's Ed and Lorraine Warren when you need them? Hmm? Where are all the paranormal investigators with their EMF devices and their whatever Ouija boards and shit? Where are they? Why is no one capturing or studying or researching this clear poltergeist activity that's going on in front of the eyes of thousands of people, and the people in the mono universal paranormal world are just ignoring that shit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Glenda's, oh, the Warrens are dead. Oh, well, that didn't stop the Undertaker. Hmm. So I started getting real curious, right? Because one of the things I started noticing was that kids seem to notice. I've noticed, like, because they say kids and animals are able to perceive supernatural, paranormal phenomena, right? They say like, oh, it's oh, I could see it. I could see the man. I could describe what he's wearing, and I'm like, really? Well, I mean, obviously, kids can see ghosts, right? Just like those little girls at the Enfield house, they could see those ghosts, right? And look at this picture right here. Now, the John Cena was known as a force for good because it would visit like these children at these hospitals, like all these sick children for like Make a Wish. And it was very well known, right, to have spent a lot of time giving moral support to a lot of these sick children. That's why, legitimately, right? And all joking aside, the John Cena really is a force for good because the John Cena has done a lot of good for a lot of these kids, like legitimately, right? But look at this photo right here. It's so odd, right? Here you see a kid holding a faux WWE championship belt over his shoulder, doing the John Cena "you can't see me" pose, right? Because that's the hand gesture that all his fans would do whenever the John Cena would do its moves. And look at how he's kind of just looking up and to the right, right? To his left, our right. He's just kind of looking up like, what the hell is this kid looking at? And apparently people asked this kid, "Hey, why are you looking like that?" Well, and then the kid's just like, "You don't see him? You don't see the John Cena?" And I'm like, "Yes, well, that makes sense. Kids can perceive the supernatural, whereas adults whose third eyes have been hardened by the rigors of this mundane reality, their minds are open. They can perceive the John Cena." This kid. Like, what is this kid looking at? He's just kind of looking. What's he staring at? And then people asked him in this photo, they asked the kid, "Why are you so happy? And why are you just kind of staring in that direction?" The kid was just like, "You don't see him? Oh my God, it's the John Cena." If that's not evidence that see, that is what really convinced me, right? At first, I was thinking maybe it's some kind of trickery, but these kids can't act. They can't fake this shit. Like these expressions of joy and happiness, that's genuine. You can't just you pay off a kid to just say some bullshit. I mean, I don't know about you. I mean, there are some good child actors, right? But most child actors, let's face it, they suck. Okay. Let's face it. Most children suck at acting. Remember that girl from Aliens, the James Cameron one, who played Newt? That girl sucked, okay? Her performance was god awful. And who says otherwise is full of shit. Kids suck at acting. So when you see the genuine look of joy, I'm just thinking, man, there's got to be something there, right? Maybe it's not some kind of weird hoaxery or bullshittery. Maybe there really is some kind of force or entity that we cannot see known as the John Cena. I don't know, guys. What do you think? The fact that kids and animals are able to see him and psychic mediums can see him, but I can't see him as a member of the WWE universe. I can't see him for shit. So I went up to my I went up to my psychic friend, Frida, because she was able to see the John Cena. She was able to see it pretty clearly. And I'm like, so Frida, so what does it look like, the John Cena? Like, I've never seen it. I'm really curious because all I can see of the John Cena are these people being chucked around invisibly. Like, what do you see when you see the John Cena? Can you describe it to me what it looks like? And she was like, "Well, he's very muscular, and his face sort of looks like a Simpsons character." So I'm like, "Hmm." So he's kind of looks like a swole or jacked Homer Simpson. And she was like, "Yeah." She's like, "He's like a swole or jacked Homer Simpson." And I was like, "Oh, you know who else looks like a swole or jacked Homer Simpson? Dr. Stephen Greer, the second most famous motherfucker in the ufology world, right? I mean, we all know that Bob Lazar's the famousest motherfucker in the ufology field, but the second most famous motherfucker in the ufology field, Dr. Stephen Greer, that dude looks like a jacked Homer Simpson. So is this what John Cena could look like? All right, look at Dr. Stephen Greer. And then look at Homer Simpson. You guys remember that episode from The Simpsons where Homer got all jacked and then Marge got all horny for him and shit? Look at them side to side. They look exactly alike. And then so when my friend Frida described the John Cena as looking like a jacked Simpsons character, my first thought was, "Oh, maybe he looks like a Dr. Stephen Greer." But she was like, "No, his face looks more like Bart, less like Homer." And I was like, "Okay, well, that rules that out." So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what the John Cena actually looks like. I think I might have an idea. I'm pretty sure it looks like a muscular man. Well, that's pretty much established by children and my psychic friends, my psychic medium friends. And then this one day, this one meme came out where everyone was talking about there was this one picture of this one guy who looked like a black John Cena. So I saw this picture. I was like, and everyone was kind of like, this picture kind of blew up because everyone was calling him Black John Cena. But I've never seen what the John Cena actually looks like. So, but I know what this photo looks like. I can see this man. I can see this photo. So I'm like, okay, try to imagine this photo of Black John Cena and try to imagine this guy as a white man. And I think I'm starting to get a sense of what the John Cena could actually look like. I don't know. I mean, do you guys see the resemblance of Black John Cena? So I wonder about that sometimes, guys. I wonder. Now, my friend Frida was telling me about how she thinks she's got her own theories about what the John Cena could actually be. Some people say the John Cena is like a ghost, because only children and psychics can see him or see and some animals, right? Some people think that John Cena could be like a cryptid because it's been seen in like odd places. Most famously, according to my psychic friend, she showed me a clip from this one movie called The Suicide Squad, where there was a scene where they were in the dark woods, and she told me that she saw a glimpse of the entity known as the John Cena, and and then she said it was in the woods. It was visible for her. But then she showed me a shot of the clip and I couldn't tell. I mean, to me it just looked like a shot in the woods. I don't know. I mean, do you guys remember this portion from the movie, right? You have Idris Elba in the middle. You have that dude who played Polka Dot Man, and they're standing in this deep dark woods. And there are all these people who are saying, like, yeah, we could see the John Cena. But I'm like, where? And people were saying this is true evidence that the John Cena could actually be in actuality, not just a poltergeist, but indeed a cryptid. You know how people in the Bigfoot community, they like to show you like photos of, "Ooh, I see Bigfoot. Do you see the picture of Bigfoot in these branches and leaves?" And then they show you, and you're like, I can barely make it out. Maybe I don't know." And then they have to do the circle just so you can see where it is. So she circled it for me, where she says she saw the John Cena, so she could tell me, which part of the picture to see. So she circled the right portion of the screen, and I'm still looking there, and I'm just like, honestly, Frida, all I see are like trees and branches. And she circled that part. She's like, "Really? You don't see the John Cena?" I'm like, "No, I don't see it anywhere. All I see are like shadows and branches and leaves. I don't see anything." I don't know. Do you guys see anything here in this photo? Do you guys see any of can you guys see the John Cena at all? I mean, I believe her. She does have the gift. Her third eye is open. And I do believe, I mean, she doesn't bullshit me. I do know that she is seeing something there that resembles, according to her, the John Cena. Again, I'm just seeing like woods and shadows. I'm like trying to make it out. And she's like, "Oh, try to focus more." All right. So, let me try to zoom in. Maybe I could capture some images or make something out. Maybe if I study it carefully. I don't know. Do you guys see the John Cena at all? Any of you? I mean, again, I'm just seeing like branches and like leaves and shadows. So she was like, "Focus on the lower middle part of the screen." I'm like, "Okay." I mean, I'm looking real hard and everything, but I don't know, guys. Again, it's just branches and leaves. Anyone? Do you guys can any of you guys make out the John Cena here at all? I'm trying, Joanne. I really am trying to see it. I mean, it's like when people show me those Bigfoot photos, right? And there's all those like images and shadows in the background, and I'm just like, I think I see what you're talking about. I think I do, but I'm not sure, guys. I'm not sure at all. Hmm. So yeah, what do you guys think? The John Cena. It's one of the biggest mysteries. I mean, have reported seeing it. Psychics and people with psychical gifts claim to have seen it. I mean, we've seen the men being chucked around, floating in the air, inexplicably, inexplicably during matches and shit. Even Brock Lesnar. I mean, look how scared he is. Damn, that is a look of true terror right there, guys. Yeah, I know. Oh, Nemo Veer. I mean, it's okay to admit that your third eye is not open. Okay, I mean, I admit it. My third eye is all calcified. Oh, Poncho Zorch has seen the John Cena once or twice. You might have the gift. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to end it pretty soon, guys. But there was at least one photo that did come out. Another very famous photo in the paranormal world. I think you guys are all familiar with this photo. You know, it's have you guys seen this one? Are you guys familiar with this one? Right? This is a very classic ghost photo where it's these two ladies who you know, they're just taking a picture with their kids at the dinner table, right? Just posing, and they don't notice anything, but then when the film gets developed, what do you see? What is the creepiness that you see here, right? You see an image of a man hanging down from the ceiling. And for the first time, you know, people are like, "Oh my god, that's a ghost." It creeped a lot of people out. Some people accuse of being fake, right? Other people are like, "No, that's real." But then with everything that we've been talking about with the John Cena, I mean, could this be? Could this be an actual photo of the first actual time the entity known as the John Cena has been caught on film? I want you guys to look at this picture really hard and concentrate. Try to open up your third eye, and maybe you'll see something of the John Cena. I don't know. Try to focus, guys. Really try to focus. Wait a minute, guys. I just realized something. Why is Tupac rapping the John Cena theme song? Yo, I think this rabbit hole the goes deeper and deeper. The plot thickens, guys. Anyway, I think that's it for tonight. Guys, keep your eyes open out there. You know, maybe if you encounter some kind of knocking on your wall at night, or maybe a tugging on your pant leg, or maybe if you see something move that's inexplicable, perhaps guys could be in the presence of the entity known as the John Cena. Good night.